Welcome back to the O Hockey Show, and today I am talking about the Columbus Blue Jackets and what they should be doing at this upcoming trade deadline. So, of course, this team has been absolutely terrible. 41 points this year, lead the league in losses with 34. Below them's 33, but they still win. They're still beating them out there. They're winning at something, and they are tied for last with the Anaheim Ducks and the Chicago Blackhawks. So this has been an absolutely terrible year for the Blue Jackets. But here's the thing. I think that this is the best thing that could have possibly happened to this team. So people like me, I saw that last season, and for the last couple years now, they've been right outside the playoff spot. So last year, they were 2 spots outside of it. They were almost there, actually, towards the end. And for the few years now, they've been they're the team that makes it into the wild card spot. They'll get in. They'll put up a good fight against a team. We all remember them beating the Tampa Bay Lightning. Then they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs before they could even get into the playoffs. So we know that this team this has kind of been their thing, is that they barely squeak into the playoffs. They'll do something exciting in there, but then they'll get knocked out eventually, right? So this offseason, they lose Bjorkstrand, but they bring in Johnny Hockey. And I thought, as well as I'm sure a lot of people, that this is going to be the exact thing they need. They kind of were missing that number one guy that can grab this team and help everyone out, be that playmaker guy. And I thought Johnny Hockey was going to provide that spark that this team needs. But here's the thing. This season absolutely did not happen at all. But not only that, but there's also tons of injuries on this team. And I think this was the best thing that could happen for them. Because the alternative is that once again this year, even if you add back in the injuries, this team still isn't good enough. I mean, a lot of their team's super young, and they're just not there yet. So the alternative is what happened last year, or what happens to them every year, is that they'll get into a wild card spot, especially with how hard the East is into making it into the playoffs. But they'll get into a wild card, and then they'll get knocked out by the Boston Bruins again, right? Or they get into Hurricanes. Or if they somehow make it into the third round. You know, there's just so many teams that they're going to have to play off against that this team isn't there yet. They're just going to get knocked out again. Or they're going to just miss it again. They're going to get a high draft pick, and it's not going to really mean much. But this is exactly what they needed this year. Because the Columbus Blue Jackets are building a strong young squad. They're already in the lineup and I think they're on better track than the teams around them. For the Chicago Blackhawks, they've got nothing. They traded away their future. They got rid of DeBrincat and Doc instead of keeping their old guys and hoping to get Connor Bedard, which they might not even get him. The Anaheim Ducks are doing terrible. Sure, guys like Zegras and Drysdale and McTavish coming up are looking amazing right now, of course, but that's only 3. I mean, they got 3 real superstars. But I don't think they have that many good young guys yet. They need to keep adding. They're still building. The Blue Jackets are a almost playoff team in my eyes. And this year, with all the injuries and keeping them down how bad they are, they're going to add a top. They've been in the bottom 3 the whole entire year, right? So this team is going to add one more superstar draft pick this season. So I think this is perfect for them because their team is young. They've got so many guys. Every single line, they've got a young guy who's going to grow and become something amazing. And I think the Blue Jackets have a real, I don't want to say dynasty. I don't know if they're dynasty level players, but they've got a lot of young guys on this team that are going to be playing really good in a year or two, right? And every team has a bad year at some point, right? So not only is this team having a really bad year, everyone's going to bounce back next season as well, right? I mean, everyone on this team, Sillinger, Roslovic, even Goudreau, all these guys are going to come back stronger and better next season. And since then, they're going to add in those injuries as well as whoever they're going to draft. Because this team could draft Connor Bedard. They also have on the option table, because they're going to get at least in the top 5, you got to think. At least in the top 5. And since they've been so high, I'm going to say at least top 4. The top 4 picks, I mean, this is a huge, deep draft, right? So, for one, they could get Bedard, right? So, they have 1 first round, 1 second round, and then they got 2 in the 3rd and 4th, right? And, they got big picks there, okay? And they could end up with Bedard. at the bottom of the league the whole year. They could win the lottery. They could end up with Fantilli, and he's fantastic as well. Fantilli, the fantastic Fantilli. It's like a magician. I'm sure someone else has come up with that already. And this is perfect for them, because not only that, they also got Carlson or Michkov that they could pick up. So they've got huge prospects for them that they could end up getting, because as long as they end up in the top 3 or 4, I think they're going to end up with a huge win here, and they're going to add on to their already impressive list of young prospect talent that they're going to inject into this lineup through the years that are coming up. So they have Johnny Hockey, who's going to help these guys grow, and these guys are going to slowly come into this team, which is that's what's genius about what's going on, is that they're going to add in one more amazing first round pick, as this team already has amazing prospects and growing players. And they've got Johnny Hockey, who's going to help them offensively. And defensively, they still have guys like Werenski back there, which I know a lot of people don't like him. I don't think he's that bad, but I know he has a bad name. But he's still a good defenseman regardless. He might not be top tier, but he's definitely at least good. And they got him back there to help. So this trade deadline for the Blue Jackets, I think what they need to do is just start adding in more of those draft picks, right? Which, obviously. So the number one guy that they're talking about getting out is Vladislav Gavrikov, right? And the asking price is a first-round pick, right? And I think that is a overpayment, kind of. I mean, defensively for a team like Boston, who's the number one team that's been talked about, I think would be perfect for them. I think they could use a little bit more of a defensive guy as well as an offensive one. They could add Gostisbehere and Gavrikov, a defense and offensive defenseman. I think that'd be perfect for them. But a first round would be... That just seems like a lot, right? A first round or a really good prospect. Gavrikov is a good defensive defenseman, but I don't think he's a life-changing defenseman. But maybe for a team like Boston, it's worth the price just to try to win that Stanley Cup for maybe the last year. So Gavrikov, first-round pick, is kind of high, but I think the reason it's so high is that Columbus also doesn't have a lot of pieces to trade away. They're not like a team like the Senators so many years ago when they wanted to go for a rebuild for some reason, where they don't have that Mark Stone, they don't have a Ryan Dzingel and Duchesne and Erik Karlsson to get rid of, right? This team they don't have that. All of their lines are young guys. There's not like the one 34-year-old guy like a James Van Riemsdyk. They have Voracek, but he's injured, and I don't really know if anyone want to add him to their team. So, really, I think the main reason he's going for a first round or a big return is because they don't have a lot to get rid of and try to build. They kind of have to bank on one big return. You know, they can't just build from one trade here, one trade there. They got to go in on one name. And one other name that I don't like the idea of it, but Elvis Merzlikins is an interesting idea, and I don't think they will trade him. I don't think he's even being considered to be tradable, but I think this team isn't going to be good for at least a good year. Like, I think next year they'd be higher up in the rankings, maybe make into that wild card, and then the next year they could be a serious contender. But at least for this upcoming 2 years, I don't really think they need to have, like, Merzlikins in net. And if they could trade him away and get another team's really good first overall pick or a really good prospect in return, I guess it's just an idea. It's not really. It's just kind of an option out there because they do have Korpisalo already in net, and he's 10-10. Merzlikins' number isn't really that great, which is another thing. Why would a team trade for him? But it's just an idea. Just maybe one of those two goaltenders you could trade away, try to bring something else back onto the team. I don't think it's a good idea, but it's an option because they don't have that many of them. So just an idea there. But really, I think this year, getting that high draft pick for the Columbus Blue Jackets, I think if they can get something good for Gavrikov and that's it, is perfect for them because I don't think they need that much else. They don't need to keep adding more, but they can. They're in a position to. They already got their full bag of candy, right, that they can't wait to go home and buy, but they were given a free extra. They got a 5-minute pass to go grab whatever they want in the store real quick. I guess that doesn't make any sense at all, but Anyways, I have a headache, so I apologize. I can't think of any good analogies. So that is really all I have to say about the Columbus Blue Jackets for this video. So if you somehow liked this, please pick up your free subscription down below by hitting that red subscribe button. I don't know why I say that. You already know what the button is. But if you liked it, please leave a like. That's a thumbs up, not the thumbs down. But go down below to the comment section and tell me how stupid I am. And I know I'm an idiot. This is the worst thing in the world, and I'm stupid. But tell me, where do you think they're going to end up? Do you think they could win Bedard? Who do you think will win the Bedard sweepstakes? I would think it would be the worst thing for him in the NHL to end up on Columbus, because that's not a very big market. And Bedard should be a superstar player on a big market, and Columbus just would not be good, but it'd be good for them, team. And if you're a fan, I'm sure you're watching and you're getting mad right now. So tell me how stupid I am down below. And until next time, I hope you're having an amazing day. Too sweet, and ta-ta for now.